Hello and welcome to today's cryptocurrency review, and in today's video I'll be talking about Phala Network with the ticker symbol PHA or PHA for short, which is building on Substrate, which means it's interoperable with Polkadot of course, and they've recently had an airdrop given to Kusama holders. So we'll be digging straight in to see what Phala Network is all about. As you can see here on CoinMarketCap, it is trading just over 10 cents. The total supply is 1 billion, the circulating supply is 137 million. It's also available on a number of exchanges. Just so you know, I am doing this video for educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And we will be getting into the details very soon. But first, let's hear from our channel sponsor. This video has been sponsored by Cobalt Lend. Cobalt is a new way to borrow. The Cobalt lending platform aims to bring together borrowers into a fair democratic voting community in order to get all size loans from microloans to six-figure loans, all without the oversight of a bank. Completely governed by the community, and therefore the community directly profits from its involvement. The current credit system is fundamentally flawed, and the Cobalt platform corrects this by facilitating a community voted and approved lending program on the blockchain that is completely based off the merits of the project. Now let's take a look at Cobalt to see what they're all about. Well, the ecosystem works by allowing borrowers to obtain loans from the treasury only if approved by the community vote. Both the buyer and the staker or the validator benefits from this model of decentralized lending because of less friction, lower fees, and lower overhead while reducing wait time for loans. The model is a completely trustless protocol with no central authority in charge, nor is there any one central body who can unfairly manipulate the terms of lending, as the community has complete control at all times and can fund or deny any project they deem worthy. Now, how do they plan to incentivize the community? Borrowers are incentivized by receiving free Cobalt CBLT tokens, which are, by the way, an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain, for borrowing. Stakers will be compensated in two ways. First, by verifying the blocks or the transaction on the blockchain, therefore receiving transaction fees that will be split with the treasury, and a small portion will be burned. Second, stakers will receive dividends paid out in Cobalt periodically by the treasury based on the positive tracked performance of the projects funded by the community through the treasury. The treasury will also conduct periodic buybacks of the Cobalt token as well. This, along with the current burn occurring routinely on the protocol, will contribute greatly to the deflationary model and therefore increasing the overall value for investors, wallet holders. So what are the different features they've got? The borrower, which is the wallet holder, the staker, the decentralized finance, social media, e-commerce, help and support. They will be conducting a token sale from the 31st of October if you are interested. There are some countries that are excluded, so do check the list here. Do fill in the details if you are interested. And you can also earn some Cobalt by taking part in their airdrop, which they've got based on social media challenges here. As we can see, they've got the Facebook challenge, the Twitter challenge, Instagram, and so on if you are interested. So to continue on with Phala Network, here we are on polkaproject.com, and just to reiterate, anything that's on Polka Project does not guarantee that it's actually building on Polkadot. This is an open source website, so you do need to check and do more research than usual. Again, I have covered this in other videos, and I've specified that if they've got like the Web3 Foundation grant, then that gives us enough confidence that this project is building on Polkadot, because they have been researched by, they have been evaluated by Web3. Nobody's going to give you granting if they haven't done some kind of research on the team, what they're trying to do, and so on, right? They only fund teams that are actually going to work on the product, not the ones that are going to run away, right? Now, so Phala Network does have a Web3 Foundation grant, and we'll see that when we look at the website. But just to show you on Polka Project here, they are substrate-based privacy data and grant. So basically blockchain confidentiality by trusted computing. And as we can see here on their website, just to reiterate exactly the same thing here, this is Phala.network. By the way, the link can be found in the description of the video. They did have a stake drop. So if you would have staked Kusama from around March or April this year, then you would have gotten Phala tokens directly airdropped to you. So you'd have to actually go to the web wallet for Polkadot by clicking on stake drop here, go to the Kusama live network and follow the instructions there to claim your Phala tokens, which are again an ERC20 token at the moment. So basically, what are Phala Network all about? Well, they guarantee the reliable execution of smart contracts while keeping the data secret. Pretty much privacy for your data on the smart contract, to keep it simple. Of course, this is based on Substrate, so it will be interoperable with Polkadot. So confidential contracts run in minor nodes with trusted computing capable hardware, which guarantees the secrecy of the contract data. They do have the white paper here, in the economic white paper, which we're going to take a look at in a moment. Basically, they're showing you how it's going to look here, the model that they've got in place. So they're going to have the gatekeepers, which we're going to talk about when we look at the white paper. These are basically the people running the nodes, kind of like the validators, and then the nominators too. Now the miners, there are miners too, so we're going to be talking about that when we look at the white paper. Now they do have the, again, this is a bit of a mix between proof of stake and proof of work. So it may seem confusing to some people, but you can basically mine Phala. Not yet, you will be able to, right? They are in ERC20 on Ethereum at the moment, but when they launch on their own blockchain, on their own mainnet, you will be able to mine Phala with your CPU. So yeah, Phala Network will support multiple DEs, including Intel, AMD, and ARM Trust Zone. Smart contract with secrets, right? So Phala Network implements confidential smart contract with a T-blockchain hybrid architecture. So they've got verifiable yet privacy preserving. So Phala guarantees the reliable execution of smart contracts while keeping the data secret. With remote attestation protocol, users can verify that all the transactions are executed in a trusted environment securely. Don't trust verify, so all the execution that can be traced to a set of cryptographic evidences. The evidences are produced and signed by the trusted computing protocol, which is Intel in this case as an example, and available on the blockchain for users to verify. Also cross-chain computation. Phala Network is based on Substrate. It offers confidential contract capability to other blockchains with Polkadot's XCMP. Eventually, all the blockchains can share our infrastructure and reduces computing power costs. Composability and interoperability too. Phala Network is the first confidential contract network with composability and interoperability. 80% of the top 10 contracts on Ethereum invoke or interact with other contracts. There are some products on Phala, by the way, so this is how it's going to look. There's the Web3 analytics here. It is a very easy to use product apparently, which they're inviting you to try on the website. It is a decentralized analytics system which values users' privacy. W3 is completely open source. Phala Network enforces its users' ownership of their personal data, therefore we eliminated data leakage or abusing. Confidentiality for everyone, again, as the second point here. They're building on P-Libra, a privacy preserving layer for Libra based on Phala Network confidential contract. We'd like to help other blockchains to get confidentiality as well. So basically you could think of Phala as the privacy protocol, or as the privacy, you could think of it like as the privacy option for Substrate and for Polkadot in general, right? Basically privacy for your data in the smart contracts. Here's the roadmap. You can see what they've been doing. So they've been working hard. As you can see, they had that stake drop in Q2 of 2020 for Kusama. Over 27 million Phala were airdropped to the Kusama community, and then in Q3 they've got a testnet going, which is called Roachach. Phala completed the last round of funding as well, which has raised over 10 million in valuation. As you can see here, they're showing us how much more they've got left before they complete their roadmap. So they've got a testnet here, 85% complete, 80% for the mainnet. Dark pool on Kusama, 10%. So they are building on Kusama too, by the way. They've got a dark pool. So it's all about privacy, right? Now, the Phala team always believes in the vision of Web 3.0. We've come from well-known companies such as Google, Tencent, DJI with rich experience of internet and blockchain. Now, I think they may be trolling here, covering their eyes, as you can see, but we do have their names. And actually, if you search for these people on Google, you can find their LinkedIn accounts. And indeed, Han Ying has actually been working at Google. He was a software engineer there. I have looked him up on LinkedIn, so you can find that information. And then Marvin Tong, who is also co-founder, CEO. He's working for Phala Network. He's been working for Tencent, and Dai or Didi, I think is pronounced, for more than 4 years. So yeah, I mean, they're obviously trolling here, covering their eyes, but yeah, basically because they're all working on privacy, right? This is all about the privacy protocol. Now, the Web3 Foundation grant, right? This is important, right? This is one of the things that I've been discussing in other reviews. So with any Polkadot project, any project building on Substrate, interoperable with Polkadot, we should always check to see if they did get a grant from the Web3 Foundation. So yes, Phala Network is a Web3 Foundation grant project in support of our mission. The Web3 Foundation grants program funds software development, research, technical education, and community engagement efforts in and around the field of decentralized software protocols. 9,000 plus community members too. You can get their official email, but you can join their Telegram page if you're interested. As always, Telegram is the best source of information when it comes to cryptocurrency in general, not just for Phala Network, but anything. Now let's take a quick look at the utilities here. So again, the total supply is 1 billion, as I've said at the beginning of this video on CoinMarketCap. They are an ERC20 token at the moment. Now let's take a look at some of the utilities here. Okay, so buy trusted computing resources, on-chain storage, off-chain storage, etc. Data exchange fee. So Phala provides a contract-based data exchange infrastructure for standardized data collection, analysis, and trading protocols. With Phala's protocol, a confidential but trustful exchange ecosystem is built for both buyers and sellers. Security guarantee. To be a gatekeeper, one must stake a certain amount of Phala. The stake would be fined and took if he betrayed the gatekeeper rules, right? So the gatekeepers do have rules. Again, gatekeepers are like the validators, the ones running the node 24/7, keeping it live. Now governance, so the stakeholders who own a certain amount of Phala will be able to join Phala's DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, to further participate in community governance. Other payments, settlements for other services or products such as Web3 analytics, cross-chain bridges for permissionless chains, and so on. Value capture by Phala Network. So the value capture by Phala is the resource in the network, and data exchanges. So computing power, on-chain computing, off-chain storage resources, pretty much, just to keep things simple here. Now let's take a look at the roles here, just to kind of give you an idea, because you'll be more interested, like if you're a holder of Phala, you'll be interested to find out how you can be a nominator, more than likely, maybe a gatekeeper too. But we've got the gatekeeper, the nominator, the miner, and the Phala decentralized autonomous organization. They are the roles, the core roles, maintaining stability of the consensus. So again, as with anything on Polkadot, you will be able to vote in the democracy using your Phala. You can lock it for a certain period of time, and you can vote on any kind of proposals that are coming from the devs. So the devs submit a proposal. You get to check out that proposal. They usually announce that in Telegram, and then you can vote. You've got the option of unlocking or staking, not staking, but locking your Phala for a certain period of time to have a specific voting power. So if you don't want, if you've got like 0.1x voting power, which is obviously 10x lower than the standard number of tokens that you're going to lock, then they're not really locked, but they are locked up to a certain period of time, and that is until the proposal ends. Then there are different options. You can vote at 1x power, and then you'll be locking them for like 7 days or 8 days. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but there are different variations. So some people prefer to lock their tokens for a longer period of time in order to enforce that voting power with their holdings, because they obviously don't want a proposal to go through, or they want a proposal to go through, right? So yeah, this is the beauty of the Polkadot ecosystem. So yeah, just to reiterate here on the gatekeeper must be 24/7 online to manage the keys for miners, as the key manager is required to run the confidential contracts. A gatekeeper produces new blocks in Phala Network and manages key distribution in the system. Now he needs to stake enough Phala to be elected or to be nominated by one or more nominators who would stake enough Phala for him. In certain circumstances, part of the staking belongs to nominators instead of gatekeepers. A gatekeeper must run the gatekeeper client on a highly available, high bandwidth, trusted device. Each gatekeeper node should always be ready to receive new parachain blocks and add them into mainnet blocks, which involves receiving, verifying, and reproducing block candidates. In the early stage, they expect to have 50 gatekeepers who all stake enough Phala to be elected. The staking must reach a certain amount though. We didn't set a minimum or a maximum of the gatekeeper staking. Gatekeepers will be re-elected based on the staking amount for each era, which is about 24 hours. There's the nominator too. The nominators are entitled to nominate a gatekeeper and delegate them to maintain the network on behalf of themselves. Nominators will also receive rewards or be punished if the gatekeeper nominated were rewarded or proved to be evil. Right? So yeah, if you're a nominator to a bad gatekeeper, you will be punished basically, right? Now the miners, the confidentiality of Phala's confidential smart contract is powered by TEE, which is similar to proof of work chains. They've typoed there, they forgot to add that. Requires miners to run it on TE enabled CPUs to execute confidential contracts. TE miners will across access and profit from mining client which provides computing power for the network. To guarantee rich computing power in the early stage, Phala will use preserved funds to attract miners through bounties and subsidies. The base and amount of bounties will be adjusted by Phala DAO Finance Committee. In the growth of trusted computing tasks could sustain miners' activity, the bounty will be reduced accordingly. So this is just one thing that I'm a bit concerned about with regards to the miners, because we've seen this with other projects like Kulupu, for example, where if a token is not listed on big exchanges, or if it's listed on, let's say, one big exchange but the rest of them are really small, having mining can be a bit tricky and it could impact the holders. But again, because they've also got the staking feature, this might actually help them. If it was entirely proof of work, it could be dangerous, right, to the holders, because you're buying but then the miners are constantly selling on you. So it doesn't matter how well the project does, if the miners are constantly selling on you and not so many people are buying, then it could impact the price, right? So that is a risk. But again, the fact that they've got this hybrid model, I'm bullish on this, right? And I like data anyway, and the fact that it's private, that's going to be even better, right? Gives control to the people at the end of the day, and not to mention the democracy, because you can vote as with anything on Polkadot. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Just to let you know, I hope you found this informative, and if you did, do drop me a comment below letting me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.